Hello guys and girls and welcome to my channel. Today we have a special guest. I think it's about the first time in the history of the internet that this technology is being demonstrated on real hardware. So it's about making this game. It's Road Blaster from Data East, a game designed by Kishimoto-san, who is responsible for developing Double Dragon, that is a world famous game. And this is a game that is on a very peculiar format, a very peculiar media, which is called VHD. Maybe you've heard about this acronym before. This stands for video high density. Basically, this is a disc inside, made just like a vinyl, but is made to display a movie with about an hour of playtime on each side of the disc. The diameter is about 20 centimeters. And there are several games for this format on two systems. For the MSX and the Sharp X1. The Sharp X1 we have today is a Sharp X1 G. Its general design is reminiscent of the future Sharp X68000 with the kind of like Twin Tower style. But I think the X68000 wasn't out yet when this model came. Sorry for the rotation of the camera. And what is special about this is that it allows to have a very good image, very good sound, like Dolby Surround. And this is about just like a Laserdisc, just with a little bit less of vertical resolution. This is like kind of in between VHS and Laserdisc. So how do we go from there? For the Sharp X1 you need, of course, the computer. You need the game, meaning the disc, the video disc, but this is just the video part of the game. The real intelligence of the game is on this cassette that is also sold with the game inside. This cassette is played on a tape cassette recorder for the Sharp X1. You have to know that the first generation of Sharp X1s came with the data cassette player built in, and later models came with 5.25 inch double density disk drives. So this one has an optional external cassette media player, cassette tape player. Then you have to have this first you have to have this VHD player. I saved this one. You have to have a Sharp VHD player with this logo, VHD PC, meaning it has the capability of being driven by a computer. So either an MSX or a Sharp X1, maybe other computers, but I don't know. And it's connected through kind of a DIN plug. I think it's 8-pin DIN plug. So next, there has to be an interface between this VHD player and the computer. What's the computer? Yes, now I remember. It's very complicated. So you have to have this marvelous machine. This is unseen before. Mainly it comes out on the internet for sale like every 10 to 20 years, depending on your luck. And I was lucky enough to be able to get this whole set, basically, with several things to repair. This cassette recorder wasn't working when I received it, so I overhauled it. And the computer had its PSU that didn't work, but I kind of repaired it. And then this interface unit, it receives the input from the computer based on this software in the cassette, and then analyzes it and transmit the information back to the VHD player here. Okay? Then the VHD player displays an image on the screen, but how do you display the information of the computer? You have to have two things to be displayed at once, superimposed one on another. So the apparatus that supports this function is this. It's called a teloper. Okay, so you have three possibilities. You have computer, you have video, meaning the video disc image, and then you have super for superimpose, and you can also set the transparency of each layer, the tint, the contrast of the computer. So you have several functions, but you have to understand that these Sharp X1 computers, they were from the ground built to be able to display two things: their proper information, the computer, and also a TV image, provided you had this kind of monitor television.
New Life Sharp
アニメする人に X1F デビュー
じゃーん、僕の大好きなラムちゃんはまつげの一本一本まで綺麗に描いてあげたい。だからグラフィックが緻密でペイントの速い X1F のデビューが嬉しい。
アートする人に X1F
作り手の事故が視覚として意識化されるという一種のパフォーマンスを企てたい僕としては、イージーな操作でありながらも中間色の表現まで完璧にやってのける X1F の出現は新たな筆であり、新たなキャンバスのデビューであるわけです。
これからの人にも X1F
テレビも見れるし遊べるし、だから選びました。やったー、
みんなに X1F 高速グラフィック機能搭載、みんなに嬉しいパソコンテレビ X1F シャープです。
Sharp X1 monitor. This monitor is able to be piloted straight from the keyboard's computer. If you hold Shift and press several different keys of the numeric pad, you can change some functions on your TV. For instance, you can set the TV channel. Shift 1 is to select channel 1, etc. And it also works even if the computer is off, provided that the computer is connected to the TV via a wire, a data wire, information wire, that is labeled TV control. So this is really interesting. You also had this function on the Sharp X68000. You could also do that. And the next function is superimpose, that is built in several models. So of the X1. If your television doesn't have the superimpose function, you had to buy one of these video component, you see, that is able to have two inputs and one output, and to superimpose the both of them on the same screen, but a screen that is not capable of doing it by itself. So we are lucky enough today to have a monitor that is able to do superimpose. So those are the first steps. First thing first, you have to load the VHD. So let me press open. The tray door opens. You press. The disk is automatically loaded. Screen turns to blue. Right now we are in superimpose function of the TV. If I press Shift plus minus, you have only... no, you have both. If you press plus, you have both. If you press equal, you have only video. This is this is the both at the same time. Sorry, maybe I'm mistaken about some keyboard shortcuts. So next thing to do would be to load the cassette. So we press eject, we load the cassette, and straight away, there we go. I press C to load the cassette. Computer is looking for a program. It has found Road Blaster. It will take about a minute or so to load the program because it's really a small program. It only saves the correct inputs at the right time codes. And what chapter to load depending on the event that you will trigger with your actions, either with the keyboard or the gamepad. Just let me lower the volume a bit. It's quite obnoxious on those machines. So this is really the pièce de résistance of the show tonight. I'm really happy to have been able to find this piece this piece of history. Complete with all the cabling. If you don't have the correct cables, you understand it will be quite difficult to make the thing run. So, still loading. And when it's finished loading, it will rewind the cassette to the beginning automatically. It's computer driven, huh? Completely. It's the end. There you go. Loading, loading, loading. Let me crank up the volume. The VHD is playing now. Let me crank up the brightness. You recognize the signature soundtrack of Road Blaster that is completely different from the Sega CD version that North American players were used to, right? With the song On the Road. That has become a cult classic since then. So what's important to read is here. Road Blaster for the Sharp X1 series. Isn't this cool? So let's have a run with a joypad. Just let me get my tripod. Almost. Look at that detail. My corpse is ejected from the car. Okay, so now brake and left, right. First time I go here. Left. Ah, I got a new life. Turbo and left at the same time. It's difficult. I had to get the sand thing. Got it. No. Too late. You really have to learn all the patterns by heart. So happy to finally be able to run this game. So, Road Blaster, Sharp X1, data cassette player recorder, the developer or the compatible superimposed TV monitor screen for the Sharp X1, and the VHD, let me do that, the VHD interface unit. There you go. All united for the perfect storm. Nice seeing you today. Hope to get some other VHD games for the Sharp X1. So far I also have Time Gal, but it's the cassette for the MSX computer. I also have Thunderstorm, but with no data cassette. I have to find one, or just the recording of the cassette will be enough to play the game. Catch you on another video. Bye guys.
New Life Sharp.
X1G でゲームする。ジョイカード標準装備。ゲームの経過をビデオに撮れる。攻略法が研究できる。X1G でアートする。グラフィックスを自在に処理するカラーイメージボード。リアルなサウンド、ステレオ FM 音源などオプションも多彩。話題のパソコン通信にも対応。X1 シリーズの高性能を受け継いだ新世代のパソコンテレビ X1G シャープから